Hello, everyone, and welcome to the eighth episode of the Four Agreements. In last episode, we learned how gossip shapes our reality, our life, even without realizing it, how it puts us into deeper hell, even when we are absolutely unaware of it. And we sort of decided to pause and think about the words we speak. And today, let's move ahead. This gossip and this spell, as the author likes to call it, are the words of others. But have you ever thought that there are words which we use for ourselves? Yes, how true it is. We talk to ourselves constantly, and most of the time we say things like, "Oh, I look fat, I look ugly, I'm getting old, I'm losing my hair are turning brown or grey. I'm so stupid. I never understand anything. I have been forgetting things again and again. I will never be good enough. I'm never going to be perfect." Most of us, most of the time, talk to ourselves in these words. Now, if you pause and think, do you see how we are using the words against ourselves? We must begin to understand what the word is and what the word does. If you understand the first agreement, author says, you begin to see all changes that can happen in your life. Changes first in the way you deal with yourself and later in the way you deal with other people, especially those you love the most. Author tells us to consider how many times we have gossiped about a person we love the most to gain the support of others, to support our own point of view. He asks, how many times have you hooked other people's attention and spread poison about your loved one in order to make your opinion right? Your opinion is nothing but your point of view. It is not necessarily true. Your opinion comes from your own beliefs, your own ego, and your own dream. He says we create all this poison and spread it to others just so we can feel right about our own point of view. He says if we adopt the first agreement and become impeccable with our words, any emotional poison will eventually be cleaned from our mind and from our communication in our personal relationships, including with our pet dogs or cat. Impeccability of word will also give you immunity from anyone putting a negative spell on you. You will only receive a negative idea if your mind is fertile ground for that idea. We have seen this concept. Author explained to us that any idea, any thought can become true only if there is already a fertile ground for that idea in your mind. When you become impeccable with your word, your mind is no longer fertile ground for words that come from black magic. Instead, it is fertile for the words that come from love. You can measure the impeccability of your word by your level of self love. How much you love yourself and how you feel about yourself are directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. When you're impeccable with your word, you feel good, you feel happy and at peace. He says, you can transcend the dream of hell just by making an agreement to be impeccable with your word. He says, right now, what is he doing is actually just planting that seed in our mind. Whether or not the seed grows depends on how fertile our mind is for the seed of love. He says, it is up to you to make this agreement with yourself. He is encouraging us to nurture the seed, which is, I am impeccable with my word. And as it grows in your mind, it will generate more seeds of love to replace the seeds of fear. This first agreement will change the kind of seeds your mind is fertile for. He says, use this white magic of being impeccable with your words. And how do you do that? Start with yourself. Tell yourself how wonderful you are, how great you are. Tell yourself how much you love yourself. Use the word to break all those teeny tiny agreements that make you suffer. He says it is possible. It is possible because he also did it. We are exactly the same. I am no better than you. That's what he says. We have the same kind of brain, the same kind of bodies. We are humans. And if I was able to break those agreements and create new ones, then you can do just the same. If I can be impeccable with my words, he asks, why not you? Just this one agreement can change your whole life. Impeccability of word can lead you to personal freedom, to huge success and abundance. It can take away all fear and transform it into joy and love. Just to remind to our listeners what impeccability means. It means without sin. And a sin is anything that you do which goes against yourself. And when you're impeccable, you take responsibility for your actions, but you do not judge or blame yourself. We have understood what impeccability is in more details in episode number 5. So, if you want to revise and refresh your understanding, you can always go back to episode number 5 to understand what exactly the word impeccability means. The author completes explaining the first agreement here and moves on to the second agreement in the next chapter. And that agreement is, don't take anything personally. We will explore more about this agreement in our next episode. Until then, love and light.